and welcome to the Digital Revolution Awards 2022. We are delighted to return once again to celebrate the outstanding work being done across the cloud space. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm your host, Maxine Nwaneri, founder and the CEO of The Future is Greater. I'm thrilled to be back presenting the Digital Revolution Awards this year, celebrating another batch of innovators, groundbreakers, and boundary pushers helping the world harness the power of the cloud. The Digital Revolution Awards was founded in 2020, at a time when digital technology became a lifeline to people across the world. In incredibly testing circumstances, cloud products and platforms allowed us to access essential services, fast-track treatments, and stay connected to those we love. Today, as technology continues to evolve at breakneck speed and digital transformation makes waves across the globe, our mission remains to showcase and applaud the best performances from professionals and organizations working within cloud technology. Today, we're going to reveal our 2022 award winners and share some valuable insights on the biggest challenges and opportunities that lie ahead for the industry from leading cloud experts. Throughout the awards, we'll be celebrating together on Twitter and at the same time raising funds for our chosen charity, St. Martin's School. To get involved, simply post a snap of you celebrating cloud excellence with the hashtag Digital Rev Awards 2022. And we'll donate £5 to St. Martin's School for every picture shared. We couldn't put these awards together without the involvement of our fantastic judging panel and generous sponsors. So before we reveal the winners of this year's awards, let's take a minute to acknowledge their much appreciated support. A big thank you to all our judges who pored over nominations, imparted their expertise, and shared their passion for cloud excellence. Along with our panel of judges, we're also extremely thankful for the involvement and backing of our sponsors. We're proud to count some of the biggest names in the cloud space among our partners. Organizations that are leading the way in driving tech innovation and putting the transformative power of the cloud within reach of everyone. Now it's time to reveal the winners for the Digital Revolution Awards 2022 as selected by our panel of expert judges from across the cloud sector. The first award of the night is the Digital Transformation Project of the Year, an award that's all about recognizing the tremendous impact that digital transformation can have on an organization's success. Our winner will be a cloud innovator whose work has delivered considerable advantages for a customer through the implementation of cloud products or services. Let's meet our finalists. Let's hand over to Aaron Rees, CEO and Managing Director at Rebura, to unveil the first winner of the 2022 Digital Revolution Awards.
And the winner of the Digital Transformation Project of the Year Award 2022 is Intelligy.
Intelligy's Power Platform solution is providing medics at London's Air Ambulance with the ability to quickly manage and assign life-saving equipment when every second counts. Previously, staff at the LAA used a pen and paper system to manage equipment before Intelligy developed a tool using Microsoft Power Apps that digitized the process, making the team more efficient and bringing them a step closer to their goal of saving more lives through rapid responses and cutting-edge care. Congratulations to Intelligy and special mention to Maxim's Caterers Limited for their commendable efforts too. Big thanks to Rabura for sponsoring our Digital Transformation Project of the Year award. Throughout tonight's ceremony, we're going to be hearing from our expert judges who will be sharing their thoughts on some of the hottest topics in the world of cloud tech and offering their advice on how we can tackle some of the biggest challenges we face as we advance this important industry together. In our first set of interviews, we touch on the astonishing acceleration of digital transformation and what emerging tech trends we should be looking out for in the next 12 months.
The world is digital. We are all engrossed in a tech age where every single day we as customers strive for frictionless modern digital experiences, mainly from mobile devices. Now, many businesses get this and they've embraced the revolution. However, some haven't. And simply put, they're not maximising their opportunity for their internal stakeholders, their employees, or their external stakeholders, their customers and their suppliers. So how do you do it? You embrace the change. You empower your stakeholders. You start the revolution. Set up innovation committees. Promote free thinking ideas. Provide resource and money to try things. Look at alternate industries for inspiration. Collaborate with your competitors on common problems. Speak to vendors and seek inspiration. And whilst you're doing all this, welcome failure as an important part of the learning journey. But most importantly, start and start now.
If I look at what professionals can do to support their organisations going through digital transformation, I really think about three things. So I think about just being very, very relevant with the skills and the expertise that you bring to the table. I also think about how you really help connect back to what the business outcomes are, because digital transformation is not all about technology. It's about connecting back to what a business is trying to achieve. I think the third point, though, which is quite often overlooked, is the role that professionals have in bringing others with them on that digital transformation journey. In your role, I think it's more important than ever to make sure that you're helping, you're supporting, and you're taking whoever it is that you're having day-to-day contact with on a journey which helps them understand, get excited, and really look forward to what the end outcome is going to be.
We see customers, our clients' customers, our end users effectively wanting more from brands. They want brands to know them better. They want to have longer term relationships. And it's absolutely true that technology doesn't solve that on its own. You need strategy, you need an idea of the experience that you want your customers to have, but you cannot execute it today without a really well implemented, well thought out technology stack. And that's just a reality now. Technology is not an obscure sort of IT function. It is front and center of everything that we do for our clients and for our clients' customers.
And now we return to the awards to crown our next winner. The Tech for Good Award honors organizations or individuals who are making a positive impact on our world by tackling social issues using cloud technology. The award showcases the part cloud platforms can play in developing innovative solutions to humanity's most pressing challenges. Let's take a look at the finalists. I'm now going to hand over to Senior Vice President of Salesforce Switzerland and Eastern Europe, Petra Jenner, to reveal this year's winner.
And the joint winners of the Tech for Good Award for 2022 are V-Ray, Simulation and Cognizant Assist. Well done, congratulations.
Our joint Tech for Good winners have both created impactful solutions to important issues. The result of 1,900 pro bono development hours, Cognizant Assist is a cloud-based platform that helps charitable organizations mobilize and manage volunteers to get aid to those who need it fast during COVID-19 and beyond. VRI Simulation, on the other hand, develops the Hazardous Environment Awareness Trainer, an AI-powered training tool that helps those with high-stress roles learn safely and effectively. The product will soon be used to develop training for the Offshore Wind Partnership and enable the expansion of offshore wind farms around the UK. Once again, huge congratulations to VRI and Cognizant. As professionals in the cloud space, we are in a position to take on not only industry-specific challenges like equality, diversity and inclusion, and upskilling, but also big picture concerns, issues that affect every single person on this planet, like the climate crisis. We caught up with some of our expert judges to find out how the cloud sector can boost its green credentials and help address the climate emergency.
Cloud computing in general has done so much for sustainability. You know, going back in the day when you had on-premise systems, you know, every company that used IT would have servers in their basement which were probably on 24/7, you know, even when no one was in the office and they weren't being used. But now, of course, we've switched to this shared model where you have cloud computing server farms and it's shared resources. So, you know, everyone's accessing it. So it might be one server, but, you know, I don't know, 10, 50 customers on that one service. But something I find really impressive is I used to work a lot with Salesforce themselves in Dublin, and they've got an army of Salesforce account executives that used to travel all over Europe to meetings. You know, a lot of emissions, a lot of flights, even if it wasn't, you know, maybe a very serious meeting. But that had to stop and go fully remote. They're seeing higher conversion rates, getting meetings with decision makers virtually as opposed to in person. They're saving a lot of emissions through doing this, but also having higher success rates from selling digitally. So I think that's really interesting.
It's becoming very apparent that a younger generation, the Gen Zs, are so much more interested and react much more to deeds rather than words. They've grown up in a world where climate change is an accepted challenge facing humanity. It's not something like we had to, you know, learn that climate change was an issue and come to that conclusion. So absolutely it's critical that companies have authentic, and I say authentic, green credentials to attract and, you know, retain current and future talent.
One positive outcome that came out of pandemic is it's the growth of our capacity to imagine what a collective disaster looks like. So COVID-19 has put the consequences of inaction in plain sight. Looking at the current ecosystem and current immediate benefits, I would focus on three areas. One is use the political influence to demand aggressive climate policies. Employers should also empower the suppliers, customers, and employees to drive change. They should leverage the stakeholder relationship. They have to build the relationship with the suppliers, build the relationship with the customers and employees. Companies should use the touch points, their buying power, and all their communications and advertising to catalyze change across business and strategy.
Initially, the impact cloud computing can have on topics like the climate crisis, you know, how much of a connection and parallel is there? And I think when we look at the impact and the outcomes of the work that some of these organizations do, I think there's absolutely a role to play. If research shows that the global information and comms sector will account for 14% of the world's carbon footprint by 2040. This is up from 1.7% in 2007. If you look at the rapid growth in cloud computing, it's driving data centers to consume 2% of the world's electricity, and they're anticipating this will go up to 8% by 2030. So we know the outcomes and positive impact cloud computing can have, but it is having a detrimental effect on some of the climate challenges. So adversely, we can look at what are some of the good companies are doing. And one of the topics that I wanted to mention, and there's a whole host, is deforestation. And we know deforestation, how the impact that can have on climate and the carbon footprint. For years, without cloud computing, deforestation has been monitored simply by satellite imagery, and the lag from the imagery to interpreting the data to make some actions, there's too much of a lag, and the chainsaws were outpacing the work. Now with cloud computing and machine learning and edge computing, it's real-time data. We have satellites, we have drones, we have monitors on the ground that are able to tell us to the minute what's happening in the space. And with machine learning, that then tells us the trends and actions we can take immediately. So it's just one example of, despite the harm it seems cloud computing is doing to the industry, there's absolutely positive outcomes and some amazing companies out there doing some great work.
Here we go then, on with our next award. Strong leadership isn't about titles. Anyone can be an exceptional leader by driving change, positively impacting their teams or their customers, or demonstrating considerable integrity, insight, or determination throughout their work. Our Outstanding Leader of the Year award recognizes these inspirational professionals across the cloud space. Let's meet our finalists. Now over to President of Frank Recruitment Group, Zoe Morris, to reveal this year's winner.
And the winner of the Outstanding Leader of the Year award is Victoria Critchley.
CEO of Microsoft partner Bam Cloud, Victoria Critchley joined the business in 2013, and since then she has been instrumental in its success. Since taking on the role of CEO at a pivotal and challenging moment, Victoria has helped Bam Cloud develop a reputation not only for customer excellence, but also an inclusive and progressive workplace. Victoria takes a proactive and hands-on approach to helping women thrive in tech. And under her leadership, the percentage of women in the team has grown to 33%, and 55% of all management positions are held by women. Well done, Victoria. The judging panel would also like to acknowledge Sanjay Jipudi and Sam Gutman, who were highly commended. Big thanks to Frank Recruitment Group for sponsoring our Outstanding Leader of the Year award. As more and more businesses turn to cloud technology to help them realize their goals, the need for professionals who can implement and optimize them and carry on innovating is booming. One way of meeting that demand is to look at those talent pools that have traditionally been overlooked. Now we're going to hear from Nabila Salem, President at cloud talent creation company Revelant, and Zoe Morris, President at specialist IT staffing firm Frank Recruitment Group, about what they've done to help fuel businesses with a new generation of tech talent that better reflects the world we live in.
The major thing we have done in the last couple of years to address the diversity challenges our customers face is the creation of our Women in Technology division back in 2020. The purpose of this division is twofold. Firstly, we support our customers with their recruitment efforts. Most customers come to us to ensure their shortlists during any recruitment process have a fair representation of males and females. And with over 200,000 female technology professionals on our database, we are primed to help. Secondly, we offer free consulting advice to customers about how they can increase the diversity of their workforces. As an example, we had a customer recently who had an offer declined by a female because their maternity package was not attractive enough. So we worked with the client and showed them some competitive benchmarking information, and it resulted in them changing their policy and securing their preferred candidate. Now, I know this initiative alone won't solve the skills gap, but I believe that if we can all contribute in some small way, it will have a huge impact and ultimately stop this becoming an unsolvable crisis.
ED&I is very much ingrained into our DNA as a business. We never look for a culture fit when hiring, and celebrating differences is actually one of our core values, because we know that it is indeed our differences that drive creativity and innovation, not our similarities. About 60% of Revlon employees identify as Black, Asian or minority ethnic, and over 50% of the leadership team are women. And 37% of staff are the first in their family to go to university, which also indicates we're making strides in social mobility. We also work with clients across the world to diversify their workforce. In Australia, for example, we launched the Indigenous Tech Academy a few months ago, in partnership with Salesforce and PwC Indigenous Consulting. There are some amazing talent pools that have been overlooked around the world, and I honestly believe it is our duty to go beyond just welcoming them into our industry. We must also seek them out and encourage them to join. Our work in Australia is just one example of that. This program will train Indigenous talent to become Salesforce professionals before placing them with PwC Indigenous Consulting to gain that important experience that they will need to succeed in their technology careers. Inclusivity is nothing without the infrastructure that gives people the skills to succeed and also the support that they need. Recently, Revlon won Diversity Employer of the Year for the second consecutive year at the Computing Women in Tech Excellence Awards, which makes me really proud, and it is testament to all the great work that the team is doing to diversify tech globally.
All right, time to reveal the winner of our next award. Not only is the cultivation of digital skills central to the continued success of the cloud technology industry, but it's also crucial to the economic growth and societal development. Our Excellence in Learning and Development Award commends those who have demonstrated commitment to helping people learn new skills and build rewarding careers in the cloud. Let's meet our finalists. Now we're going to welcome Paul Nichols, Head of Schools, Colleges and EdTechs UK at AWS, who will be unveiling our winner.
And the winners of the Excellence in Learning and Development Award for 2022 are Didasco and Generation Italy Foundation. Congratulations.
Since launching its 100% online Bachelor of Applied Cloud Technology degree in collaboration with AWS and La Trobe University, Didasco has equipped almost 400 students with vital cloud skills. Their accessible, self-directed course is making a career in the cloud a reality for a diverse range of budding technologists. In the past year, Didasco has been working on unveiling further variations of its cloud degree, including higher education and short courses, creating even more solutions to the digital skills shortage. The Generation Italy Foundation has trained over 900 young people across Italy since 2018 and given them a career in tech. In a country that has been particularly hard hit during the pandemic with the loss of 1.2 million jobs, they've given a lifeline to those between the ages of 18 and 29 that have been affected and have partnered with Salesforce to become the country's second Salesforce certified academy. As well as equipping cohorts with the digital skills they need to succeed in a career in the cloud, students also go through employment boot camps that help launch their professional careers. Congratulations to Didasco and Generation Italy Foundation, and a massive thank you to AWS for sponsoring our Excellence in Learning and Development Award. The importance of lifelong learning is magnified tenfold in a fast-paced industry like cloud technology. But with a growing digital skills gap hanging overhead, how do we make sure our efforts are meeting the mark? We spoke to our judges about certifications, personal development, and key mistakes to avoid when building skills in your organization.
So one of the things I've been asked to talk to about today is some of the mistakes made by companies in their learning and development. Are you doing more than the required? The required might be sexual harassment, diversity training, and security. Those are the basics everyone has. what else can we use the training tools for, and what other training tools are available? The other thing is companies do make a mistake if they don't invest in the training. And by this training, I mean like the tools people are using. A lot of them are really basic. Maybe they're not investing in the Word or the Excel, or somebody wants to take project management further. Those are all things that can benefit a company if they invest in it.
Well, to reignite your learning and development as an organization or even as an individual, the first actionable step that you would take is to make a plan. And I like to use a plan that's focused on, first of all, defining your vision. How do you want to live? What is the way that you want to use that learning? How do you want your company to be in the future, not just for now? Then the next important part is to think about what's important to you as you're rolling out this program or embarking on your own learning and development journey. Is it important that you can use the training straight away? Is timing important? Do you have to get it done by Christmas? Is there a budget constraint? Is there a specific project that your company is embarking on that requires the skills that you need to develop? So this helps you to take a reactive approach and turn it into something proactive. And then finally, how do you measure that success? How do you know that you have achieved the goal and the vision that you have set out to achieve? Make a plan, make lists, think carefully about who you want to be versus just a little improvement on who you are.
It's not surprising that there's not a simple answer to say whether moving to remote working and learning has been a positive or a negative. It's actually, I think it's a combination of the two. There are different approaches and things to keep in mind when going to remote learning. It's got to be accessible. It should be fun, and it should be rewarding for the individual to drive them through that. You've got to have a means to acknowledge how the learning is going and their achievement through that learning process. There needs to be that, and back it up with the opportunities to gain experience as well through the learning process. Put that learning into practice. And of course, you need to make sure that you're learning the skills at the right point in time when you need them, with some form of access to mentors and experts who can guide and access you from that perspective. But when we talk about remote, of course, there's lots of different types of remote, and you've got to use all formats, and that could be synchronous, asynchronous, be that virtual with a live person, but even, mobile, with your phone, learn off your phone as well, and having all of those modalities there so you can actually shape the learning around yourself.
I guess the issue is making sure that it's at the top of the agenda all the time, and making sure that we make the time for people to do the learning and development. So what it really takes is a kind of longer term perspective. We get so caught up in the daily, weekly, monthly, quarterly. We forget that we want people to be with us for years. That's what we should be aiming for. I think we'll see the rise of, we talk a lot about CX being customer experience. I think we're going to see the rise of EX, or employee experience. I think that's going to be a major trend over the next few years, and pivoting resources in our own business that are typically used to look after our customers to be able to look after our employees is something that we need to get used to.
Now, let's reveal the winner of our next award. The Salesforce industry is growing fast, and that's thanks in no small part to the dedication and passion of the global Ohana. Our outstanding contribution to the Salesforce Ecosystem Award recognizes valuable work by Salesforce partners, ISVs, training providers, or any other organization or individual supporting the Salesforce community. Let's meet our finalists. Let's go over to VP of Trailhead and Ecosystems at Salesforce, Stuart Mills, to find out who's taken home this year's award.
And the award for Outstanding Contribution to the Salesforce Ecosystem for 2022 goes to Gasper Rodriguez.
Gasper has dedicated his life to Salesforce and is now helping others do the same. After beginning his journey as a consultant, Gasper noticed both the skill shortage and the lack of diversity in the ecosystem and decided to do something about it. So Gasper founded Refugee Force, a not-for-profit organization aimed at helping asylum seekers in the Netherlands learn Salesforce skills and land rewarding jobs in tech. In the 3 years since its launch, Refugee Force has trained 87 new Salesforce professionals completely free of charge. Half of those participants have already launched their Salesforce careers as administrators, business analysts, developers, or consultants. Congratulations, Gaspar. This was a tough one for the judges to narrow down, so special commendations also go to LDN Apprenticeships and Heather Black of Supermums. Fantastic work. And of course, a massive thank you to Salesforce for sponsoring this award. We all know that making the cloud space an equitable and inclusive place for all tech professionals is an imperative goal. This award celebrates businesses in the cloud industry who are striving to achieve that goal through tangible, effective efforts to foster diversity and champion equality within their organizations. Let's meet our finalists. Now over to Nabila Salem, President at Revelant, to reveal this year's winner.
And the winner of the Diversity and Inclusion Employer of the Year Award is Merkle.
Since beginning its ED&I work in earnest in 2014, Merkle's employee equality efforts have ballooned. 7 pillars now make up Merkle's Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Council, which focuses on equity over equality and reflects a deliberate move towards improving the system to allow everyone to thrive. In the past year, Merkle has dedicated itself to becoming a truly anti-racist organization and ensuring a greater involvement, including funding from the top. The firm's work so far has seen it create a special budget for events, training, and diversity-focused hiring, become the first agency in EMEA to host Microsoft's inclusive marketing training, and drive change outside of Merkle through work with industry partners and clients. Congratulations to Merkle, and special mention to Applied, who were also highly commended. Thank you to Revelant for sponsoring our Diversity and Inclusion Employer of the Year Award. Thanks to the work of organizations like our nominees, strides are being made on the ED&I front, but there's always more work to be done. We asked our judges their thoughts on how we boost representation, target upskilling efforts to a wider demographic, and conquer roadblocks such as unconscious bias in our industry.
It has never been more important to ensure that equality, diversity, and inclusion in the workplace or ED remains high on our agenda. It's about valuing, recognizing, and respecting, embracing and including individual differences, and believing that doing so will add value to the workplace. And there are some tips, to improve ED in our workplace. First, create a culture that supports ED. Every single employee in an organization has a role to play in contributing to what the culture looks like. Culture is, after all, a set of behaviors and attitudes created by the employee who are a part of it, and how people behave to their colleagues and peers needs to be accountable. And I would also add to provide a sense of belonging for every employee. For example, during one-on-one meetings with employees, we need to take time to regularly check in and ask how they are, recognize their good work. We need to build peer groups where people feel a sense of community and belonging.
So ED&I is important to address the skills gap, this is true, but I feel it's more important to help create an environment that is suitable for all staff, all volunteers, and to be honest, anybody that comes into connection with your business, so that they can basically just be themselves. Outside of the skills gap, there's definitely a couple of areas. Equal pay is one that I hear a lot. So ensuring that your managers and managers in general are assessing their team and they're getting that recognition for the work that they're doing, and that there are no very obvious gaps between different people and employees. I'd say another is just general awareness of the stuff that happens. So I've taken a lot of unbiased bias training courses recently as part of my new job, and it really helped put things into perspective to enable me to understand even where I was doing it unconsciously. And I think everybody should take the time within a business, whether you're a manager or not, to understand that, because it does change the way that you look and you act.
Bias is actually quite a complex area to navigate. And I think that leads me into to maybe some top tips. And the first one is to be aware, because bias is generally unconscious because of your values, your experiences, what you've been exposed to growing up and in your career. You naturally form biases. The second tip is we need to actually train our brains to recognize the mismatch. I think naturally, in particular when we're recruiting or hiring new people into our organizations, you naturally will be looking for people that look or sound like you, have similar sorts of experiences to you. So one idea could be, as you're thinking about how you're advertising for a role, the types of language you use in the job description, and if you're briefing a recruiting company to brief them on searching out people that are coming from diverse backgrounds, diverse experiences.
From my experience, try to use a lot of standards as possible. Try to learn from smartest people, smartest company. Smartest means more innovative company and people who are very open, because really it's nothing hard. You as a person, or you as a COE or a lead of the company, you need to only try to find information, because I believe that the collaboration between company, between users, it's something what's happening at the moment. And for us, not only from the business perspective, but us as final users, as human, it's most important that we have very fast solve our problem. We need to learn ourselves and our people, our company, how to grow faster, how to stay on the market. And I think that cloud technology and everything what is connected with this at the moment gives a huge impact for our life, private and business.
And now we return to the awards to crown our next winner. When the world was hit by the COVID-19 pandemic, countless businesses from across the cloud industry stepped up and used their expertise and resources to help us survive, adapt, and overcome the trials we continue to face. Inspired by these heroic efforts, our Rapid Business Innovation Champion Award seeks to recognize the work of an innovative organization tackling community challenges and crises by adapting its services or products for the wider public good. Let's meet our finalists. Let's hand over to Rajesh Ahuja, Global Head of Talent Acquisition at Infosys, for the big reveal.
And the winner for Rapid Business Innovation Champion of the Year for year 2022 is Shelby Sanderford of DocSpace. Congratulations, Shelby.
DocPace is an integrated cloud platform that uses advanced data science, data processing, and real-time monitoring to improve patient management and coordination in healthcare. DocPace helps practices across the country gain back anywhere from 10 to 20% of lost patient time, enabling providers to see more people. The platform has also introduced a virtual waiting room solution that allows patients to wait in their car until their physician is ready to see them, making them more comfortable and reducing the risk of disease transmission. Through the development of DocPace, Shelby is enabling healthcare professionals to deliver quality care to high volumes of patients. Massive congratulations once again to Shelby. Very well done. Our Tech Star of the Year award recognizes the power that a single individual can have when it comes to realizing the true potential of cloud technology. Our Tech Star will be a cloud expert whose creativity, passion, and innovation are propelling the sector forward. Someone who embodies cloud excellence. Let's meet our nominees. Now, over to Partner Organization Lead and member of the Executive Board, Microsoft Switzerland, Thomas Winter, to reveal this year's winner.
And the winner of the Tech Star of the Year award is Anurag Kale.
Anurag Kale is the Cloud Solutions Architect and a pillar of the AWS community, regularly organizing and speaking at community events and meetups. As well as helping many small businesses get to grips with the cloud, Anurag dedicates much of his time to developing the next generation of cloud talent. In his role as a facilitator for the Apprentice Project, he teaches tech and life skills to low-income children in India. And he has also worked with local colleges to help them develop cloud programming courses for students. Congratulations to Anurag, and a special mention must go to Bhuvaneshwari Subramani at Infor, who highly impressed our judging panel. When it comes to tech superstars, giving a leg up to tomorrow's cloud professionals is just as important as acknowledging today's. We all know how fundamental new talent is to the continued success of our industry, which is why we're working with St. Martin's School to empower students in Kenya to build tech skills and seize the opportunities that the cloud industry presents.
What makes a great leader? They see things the rest of us can't. They inspire others to go on a journey with them. They overcome the barriers that stand in their way, and they never lose sight of their goal. But how do you create a great leader? It's not about where they're born, or who they know, where they went to school, or the jobs they had. The leaders of tomorrow are everywhere, in every corner of our beautiful world, waiting to change it, to shape it into a new reality that we can all benefit from. We need to help those leaders of tomorrow, to give them the opportunity to succeed, to seek them out and lift them up, because no one is born to be a great leader, but they can be taught to be one.
If you'd like to find out more about St. Martin's and how you can support its efforts to build a brand new secondary school for local boys, visit the link on the screen. Thank you so much. Now, let's reveal the winner of our next award. Our outstanding contribution to the Microsoft Ecosystem Award is bestowed upon an organization or individual whose work has created waves in the Microsoft space. Someone who's pushed the limits of Microsoft technology, empowered customers and professionals alike, or engaged the Microsoft community. Let's meet our finalists. Now over to Anna Assasa, CEO at Tiski, to reveal this year's winner.
And the winner of the Outstanding Contribution to Microsoft Ecosystem Award 2022 is Pratik Hegra.
At the height of the pandemic, the need for digital services was on the rise, and Singapore was suffering the effects of a talent shortage, even though a quarter of the workers in the non-IT sectors had lost their jobs. That's when mission-driven non-profit Generation stepped in to help. Seeking to bridge this skills gap and encourage social mobility, Generation worked to reskill out-of-work individuals and prepare them to take on vacancies in the ICT sector. In partnership with Microsoft, Generation has trained and successfully placed 200 individuals in the last 6 months alone. This year, it plans to expand its syllabus to meet changing market demand and roll out further initiatives in Malaysia and Indonesia. Congratulations to Pratik and everyone at Generation. And thank you to Tiski for sponsoring our outstanding contribution to the Microsoft Ecosystem Award. The astonishing rate at which cloud technology has developed in recent years has given rise to some incredible innovations, but it has also accelerated the issue of the tech skills gap. So, what can we do to help the workforce and society at large keep pace with the evolving tech landscape? We asked our expert judges how our industry can attract more people into tech careers.
To bridge that skills shortage gap, we should be looking at how to knock down barriers. We need to come up with and make an ecosystem where we can connect, remove friction and deliver insights. I think the first barrier is the lack of motivation. And then it leads to various barriers such as language, such as, not really feeling that sense of belonging. Maybe there is so many other barriers that we sometimes not think of, like financial inclusion, digital inclusion, there's social exclusion. So there's lots of these barriers which can then further down break into so many other barriers of a person. I think once we start knocking down these barriers, we would be able to create a sense of belonging for people. The motivation is the key whenever it comes to bridging skills shortage gap. I think that ecosystem is not like developed by one person or one organization. It is a time that we all have to come together and have a coherent voice, because this is the type of ecosystem that we are looking to develop, not only to bridge skills shortage, but also to be inclusive. And you can't achieve that if one person do that. It's like all of us have to play an important part in that.
I think from our experiences, we really see two key challenges when it comes to talent attraction into the tech industry, particularly for diverse talent. One is perception. So people coming from different backgrounds, there's a perception that tech is really hard to get into, that it's all the same looking bunch of guys. And I think even though the tech industry is evolving, the perception hasn't necessarily caught on in terms of what that opportunity and what that industry looks like. But I think also beyond perception, there's also a reality that we see from a cultural perspective. So culturally, technology is actually a little bit more insulated in a sense that, we tend to want to hire people who comes from a similar background to us, who's had similar qualifications, and that career transition sometimes is hard. We find it harder to accept and acknowledge and recognize in our industry. So I think if we can address the perception issue and also the cultural element to make our tech industry more inclusive, we will see more diverse talent flourish in the sector.
Here we go then, on with our next award. A huge part of fostering innovation and brilliance in the cloud space is creating an environment where cloud professionals are empowered to do their best work. Our Cloud Technology Employer of the Year award acknowledges exemplary commitment from an organization to making their business a great place to work, grow, and succeed in cloud technology. Let's meet our finalists. Let's go to Mitchell Mayer, SVP and EMEA Salesforce Service Line Leader at Merkle, to find out who's taken home the prize.
The winner of the Cloud Technology Employer of the Year award is Rackspace.
Rackspace understands that everyone just wants to be a valued member of a winning team on an inspiring mission. Intentional in its inclusivity, diversity, and belonging approach, Rackspace assists its employees with many resources, including support groups designed for employees from a wide range of social backgrounds and with a plethora of life experiences. These efforts have seen Rackspace recognized among the best places to work for LGBTQ+ and Latinx professionals, veterans, and parents. Congratulations to Rackspace, and well done also to Engage Rocket, who the judging panel would like to give a special mention to for their outstanding entry. The future of work has been a hot topic for a number of years, but the effects of the pandemic have accelerated this conversation in ways we could have never imagined. In this set of interviews, our judges reflect on the rise of remote roles, its impact on tech infrastructure, and what they believe will be the next phase in the evolution of work.
I think the future of work started 2 years ago, when everything kicked off and we went through what we have, and people were forced into working in ways that they maybe hadn't done before. We had this period of time where people had no choice but to work remotely, and then working hybrid after that. And by doing so, everything that happened and the ways that we changed and adapted to everything showed that a lot of the preconceptions that many companies had about working remotely were nothing more than myth. It's shown that we can be trusted to work remotely, we can be more productive. The output that we give as a result of this doesn't necessarily have to be less. In many cases, it's far greater. And I think that this is the starting point of that future. There's a lot more expectation now as a result of this proof that we have, that people want more flexibility in their lives. They want the flexibility to be able to balance their work and their home life that much better.
I think moving forward, it's going to be about flexibility. I think people will pick employers that give that flexibility and allow their employees that freedom to choose perhaps a bit more where they work from. Very important that we have a culture of trust, and I must admit I've always been very lucky with the workforce within Tyskie. They have always been empowered to make their own decisions. And I think those things become more and more important as we all have to be slightly more flexible on home working, on hours, on the way of working. Working alongside customers that are working remotely give extra challenges as well. So we need to get better and better, all of us, at that. Working together, ensuring that they get what they need from these sessions. But technology has brought some great things with it. Workshops wouldn't be previously recorded, and now they can be. We can look back on information. We don't necessarily need to take as many notes. So there's a lot of opportunities to learn from these things and to actually improve services.
Where they really create a challenge is with the new employee onboarding, coming into a new company specifically, never, in some cases, never having been to the physical location. It can be very difficult to get into the flow, and you take for granted a lot of stuff that you would normally learn just by being in an office, being around, being able to walk over and ask a question to someone next to you in the office. That being said, the tools, the collaboration tools and the remote work tools that are out and available now do a fantastic job of bridging that gap much better than email or a phone call or a chat ever could, right? So being able to look at someone in the eye, even if they're not in the same room with you, can help overcome some of those challenges. Flexibility is the important thing, because you can make that decision on a employee by employee or a role by role or organization by organization base, all with the same tools.
You have people who are fortunate enough to have a study at home or somewhere where it's easy for them to work, and other people are sharing workspaces at home and it's quite stressful. So this is what I mean about it. Really depends on your personal preference, your personal circumstances, my opinion is I think it's a healthy balance to get a bit of both. A lot of people felt that their employer hadn't really listened or asked them what they wanted. It's the whole workforce now want to work differently to they did before the pandemic. And I mean, overall, I think it's a really positive thing. I think, you know, for people to have a better work-life balance, for them to be happier, essentially, that can't be a bad thing. So we've just got to navigate as employers how we manage it. But that's just all about listening to people.
Wonderful insight from our judges. Now, let's find out who will be crowned the winner of our final award of the night. Our outstanding contribution to the AWS Ecosystem Award applauds the work of businesses and cloud heroes innovating in and advancing the AWS space and shaping the future of the platform. Whether through their pioneering efforts, education, or active involvement with the global community, this award is all about those who motivate anyone working with AWS to accomplish more. Let's meet our finalists. Now over to Pam Brown, Manager of Certifications Product Management at AWS, to reveal this year's winner.
And the winner for Outstanding Contribution to the AWS Ecosystem Award goes to Rob Koch.
Rob Koch is the lead architect at S&P Global and founder of definthecloud.com. Rob is a prolific knowledge sharer and regularly imparts his cloud know-how to help others achieve their goals with AWS technology. With Def in the Cloud, he has also created an inclusive space for AWS professionals, deaf and hearing alike, to come together and share best practices, making the AWS community smarter and more connected than ever. Congratulations to Rob, and a special shout out for the second time this evening to the fantastic Bhuvaneshwari Subramani, who the judges were really impressed with. A massive congratulations to all our winners and finalists. Thank you so much for joining us. It's fantastic to see so many people taking part in celebrating our collective successes and highlighting the exceptional work we see in the cloud space every single day. We hope you feel as inspired and invigorated by the efforts of our winners and the expertise of our judges as we do. A special thank you to everyone who made this event possible, from our judges and our sponsors to our production team and to everyone who submitted nominations this year. We are thrilled and humbled to be able to present these awards for a second time, and we can't wait to do it again in 2023. We hope to see you again next year to celebrate the next generation of cloud superstars. So look out for information about our 2023 categories and nomination process coming very soon. Thank you again for your support and for making the cloud industry the exciting, vibrant place that it is. Goodbye for now.